Is it better to stay or to be taken? My brothers and sisters, we celebrate the first Sunday of Advent, and we have quite the gospel reading that really is misinterpreted these days, especially when it comes to the rapture. You see, Jesus is telling us of two examples, one with Noah and then the exiles. First, like Noah, some were washed away, some remained in the ark. Also the exiles, two people in a field. One's taken, one remains. And in current Christian Protestant theology, it's better to be taken than to be left behind, than to stay. But quite frankly, the opposite is true in Catholic theology. We want to be left behind. We want to stay, because staying in the promised land is a good thing. Being in the ark is definitely a good thing. And quite frankly, being in the church, remaining with Christ, is exactly where we want to be, and not be taken up and taken away by so many sins, by so many innovations. So here's the thing. For us, Advent season is about remaining. Remember in the scriptures, those who remained in the promised land from the exiles were actually seen as the good guys. Those who were exiled, sure, their kids came back, rebuilt the temple, but those who remained became the Samaritans. And isn't it funny how many times in Jesus' parables and miracles the Samaritans come out looking pretty good? For instance, the Samaritan woman at the well was the one who recognized Jesus and asked for living water. It was the good Samaritan who helped the man beat by pulp by the robbers, and did the needful charitable thing. 10 lepers were cured, but it was a Samaritan who came back and thanked Jesus, and thus becoming an example of what the Eucharist is all about. And so many other examples. For us, my brothers and sisters, there is no happiness in being taken away by sin or taken away by temptation. It is remaining in our vocations, remaining in our faith, that we truly find not only our place, but that security in Christ. It was always a bad day growing up when someone took our spot in the church. The other pews just didn't feel right. The other views just weren't as good. Our pew was the best. It was our spot. This is where we remained. And my brothers and sisters, we are called to have a spot in the church, that we may yearn for that security and remaining and steadfastness in our daily lives. How many marriages get into trouble when people start thinking about all other possibilities, other experiences that they're not having? How many kids get into trouble when all of a sudden it's more fun to hang out with the friends than it is remaining with their parents and their family? How many families get in the rocks when family members choose to shaft the family for other things? And this is where, my brothers and sisters, we are truly called to remain. And this is what Advent is all about. Advent isn't about going on some journey, being taken away by Bethlehem. It's about remaining with Christ and recognizing that we're not celebrating the baby Jesus, if you will, so much as we are celebrating Jesus' second coming and are commending our spirits to Him at the end of our lives. It is about recognizing that we need to remain faithful to Him, that at the end we may have that confidence, that trust, that peace to be with Him, to remain with Him forever. This is what we are made for. This is what brings our hearts satisfaction. There are so many people at the end of their lives that find such peace. In fact, I ask people all the time, do you have peace? Do you have unfinished business? Are you ready to die? And a lot of people will tell me, Father, I've gone to Mass my whole life, meaning I have found peace in the Eucharist. I have found security in my Catholic faith. I know that my faith has worked. And that's such a beautiful grace. But that is a grace that we can have every day of our lives, so that we will not be taken up by so many things that are not of Christ. So many people live their lives filled with worry and anxiety, running from thing to thing, thinking that somehow that will make them happy. When in reality, it is those beautiful, simple things that God gives to us things that we already have and so often don't appreciate, that are truly bringing us closer to that place of rest. I want to challenge you this Advent season to try to remain in Christ more, remaining in prayer, remaining in our faithfulness to the practice of the faith. Recognize that Advent truly is a time of preparation, decluttering our hearts, that we may remain in Him all the more. So often in our culture, it is bad to be left behind. But quite frankly, my brothers and sisters, as Catholics, that's exactly where we want to be. We don't want to be caught up in so many of these new Christian innovations or in the craziness of all the political machinations around us, of all the sin and temptation, of all the things that would distract us from the most important things in life. To stay behind me, brothers and sisters, is to be with Christ, to be in the ark, to be in the promised land, to be with the Father. And I frankly can't think of a better way to start our Advent than asking the Lord for the grace to not be taken away, but to remain in Him. God bless you. Magnificat anima mea Dominum. My soul magnifies the Lord.